So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast with Happy. We're gonna ask some questions today about their new album, Imposter Syndrome, and they're gonna be eating hot food throughout the entire interview because we asked them to. I'm gonna start. So congrats on that album, by the way, guys. How do you feel about the response to the single so far since not out at the time of recording?
Oh gosh. I think the response to Liar Liar has been mind-blowing, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna eat the first hot sauce.
Oh god.
This isn't just basic Texas Pete. Yeehaw.
Texas Pete.
Yeehaw.
I can handle that.
Liar Liar has been our biggest single in the history of Happy, so
God damn.
That's true.
Wow.
Which is really cool, just because, like, especially with Don't Overdose and Drive having like over 1 million streams, like it's weird to be a band with that success on like a song from your first release, because it's like, wow, the pressure is on for your second, release. So for Liar Liar to be streaming like at the same rate as that song is just crazy. Like, I'm really glad people like the new stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially in like a shorter time period too. Like this time, yeah.
Congrats on that. That's crazy. Oh my god. Okay. So what is your writing process, and how do you think it's changed since your first release, Cult Classic?
it's a good one. We're actually writing right now, and this is the first time we've had like softwares and MacBooks and interfaces, and so like now we write
Yeah.
by like demoing things instead of just going to the studio with songs, like, and then changing it up at the studio. But now we're like, this is intro, this is verse, and we literally rewrite the entire song so many times. So
Yeah, like up until this point, we haven't had equipment to be able
Yeah.
to like create the song before, like Sean said before, it's like the final version of it. So
Mhm.
now we have all that fancy electronic equipment. It's
Yeah.
all like right here in front of us, which
Yeah.
is funny. We're looking at it, you can't see it, but yeah, we can like make songs and know what they sound like before it's like time to go
Yeah,
into the
time to
studio.
go.
So that's
Whoa.
pretty cool.
That's
All right,
crazy.
That's great.
oh, it's hotter.
I'm gonna take a picture of the setup.
This one's like don't like this one. This one's
Oh
like,
god.
It's Cholula. I give it a 4 out of 10 on the hot scale.
Okay.
Okay.
So is John the one that can take the heat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but this is what the
Please.
computer is doing right now.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Wow.
I can
this
see it kind
on
of.
a screen, on a screen. It's a conception.
Yeah.
Look, this one's like has like a sweet taste to
Ugh.
it. It's kind of weird.
Oh.
I love
Okay.
so Texas Pete was also a 2 out of 10 on the hot scale.
Texas Pete is
Okay.
Zero. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
All right.
No, it's all good. Wait. What's the hottest one you got? Like, did you get like a habanero or
Yeah.
like ghost pepper?
Yes, both.
We're going up the
Oh
line.
my
Okay.
god.
It's a
All right.
radioactive iguana.
What does it say? on
Oh.
It says we've got atomic pepper sauce. Jesus, radioactive.
Atomic.
I've got that one in my fridge.
This
They're not
one's-
ready.
This is hot.
John's like, I drink a shot of that before I go to bed.
Exactly. Easy.
When I was a baby, my parents used to give me I would drink Texas Pete out of the bottle
Huh?
as a baby.
As a baby.
They took a picture of it and sent it to Texas Pete, and they sent him a bunch of like products. So yes, I was on Texas Pete's PR list.
Okay, wait. Before Happy's first sponsorship was John with Texas Pete as an
Oh
intern.
my god.
Now we know that.
Wow.
I love
That's-
that.
That's so cool. That's so
So-
the image. Yeah.
Trying to stay on the record here. Where was your headspace while writing this record?
Gosh, or headspace while writing this record. I think that I don't know, like with this album, with Cult Classic, I guess the whole record was really upbeat and like happy, and all the songs are kind of like about fun stuff. And this record is not that,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I mean, the songs, I think that when you listen to them, like on first listen, they do sound upbeat, like they're written in major, scales and stuff like that. But I think that the subject matter of this record is a lot more dark. So I'm interested to see what people will think about that. What do you think?
Mhm.
John, the man of so many words over there.
Mhm.
No, yeah. It's hard to say just like a generic headspace because we've been writing these songs for over 2 years now. Now we're
That's
getting,
true.
I'd say now we're getting to a headspace, with LP3. Jesus, weird to even talk about that.
Right.
But LP2, I mean, we've had these songs for 2 or 3 years now, and we're writing over the span of 2 years. So, what you think, John?
No, I mean, the headspace was so spread out. Sean's right, over the course of writing this one two. But now I feel like, I mean, it's crazy trying to write the third album when the second album's not even out, but
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that there was more inspiration for this record, at least for me, I know, just because with the first album, a lot of those songs were written like when I was in high school and stuff, and before I had toured, before we had been around the country, before we had, had what we call fans and stuff, so writing this record, we had been around the country and we had been through all of the things that bands go through in the first couple of years of their career, and I think that a lot of that had an effect on, there's a joke that every band on the planet writes their second record about touring, but it's because it is a completely different lifestyle to like jump into than before you do that sort of thing. I think that had a lot to do with these songs as well.
And the third one's going to be about making sure to eat your fruits and vegetables.
Wonderful.
So we're going the Wiggles route here
Hot
on
sauce.
Yeah.
LP3.
Wonderful. Wait, I have to ask, what songs off of your second album, Imposter Syndrome, were supposed to be on Cult Classic, or you wrote around that time that didn't make the cut?
Well, I wrote Liar Liar in Nashville at the Airbnb, like when we were recording Cult Classic, so that's kind of weird. Like the song was not finished yet or ready yet, but it was definitely during that like time period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Boy was written when we toured with Brigades, I think. That was a long time ago.
June Gloom is a really...
Oh yeah,
That was
that
not
song, that was like almost before Cult Classic. It just didn't.
Yeah, that was
So,
old.
I think you'll be able to tell like which songs are older and which songs are newer.
Yeah, because then like we have a song on the record called Hooky, and I think that we finished the chorus for that one like a week before we left for the studio.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
that
wow.
was really new.
And that's like our favorite one too.
Yeah. So, but that's what's weird about like with a record like rollout. Like I don't think they really like consumers like understand that by the time that you guys hear a record, that has been finished and written for a year or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they were talking about, we're writing our next record right now, which is, and this one hasn't even come out yet. So
Yeah.
by the time y'all hear that, we'll be talking about what headspace we're in right now, So it's just,
Mhm.
it's super weird how like the behind the scenes of it takes a whole lot longer than what you would like expect, I guess. But
Yeah.
going forward in the future, that we would like to put out music at a faster pace. Like the whole like 2-year album cycle thing is kind of a drag,
It really
at least to
is.
me. Like, I would rather just like drop some singles
Throughout the year.
frequently, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe that will be what's next for us. We're already talking about like
Anyway.
What's next? Okay.
This release hasn't even happened yet.
pandemic, guys. We've had a lot of time to sit around and think about what we want to do. You know what I mean?
That's completely valid.
Also,
Yeah.
update: Yucatan Sunshine Habanero.
Oh, we're stepping it up. Okay.
I think that's a 5.5 out of 10 on the hotness.
5.5.
5.5.
What a cracker! I'm just gonna go straight on the
Oh my
All
god.
right.
pipe this time. At one
It's
time.
good.
Okay.
This one tastes. This is the best tasting one so far.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All
You
right.
put like
I
one.
hope this is a
dot.
hard question for this hard. No
Oh.
pressure, you guys. I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna ask, what band or artist influence do you think you could hear on Imposter Syndrome,
Hmm.
That's a good one.
when
if any?
When I listen to Liar Liar, I feel like I can tell that I was absolutely jamming Heart Attack Man's first record.
Yeah.
Like I feel a lot. Not, and it's funny because like now like Fake Blood is really great, but like I said, we wrote that song a while back, and that was when like they had just done that split with McCafferty, and like they did the Man Family, which is a long time ago, but that's kind of what I was listening to then, at least for that song.
I don't know what I could relate this album to.
What did the one email say from the person at
What did someone else say? Right?
no, it was a good one. I agreed with
Was it the starting line? Somebody said it sounded like the starting line.
No, somebody said
Oh, this one's
from
Oh no.
from company Big Picture.
Okay.
She said it sounded like
Oh, Reliant K. That's maybe
Oh, that
that's
was
what it
Cult Classic. I could see with Reliant Cave. But this record, I really don't know.
I put a little bit of Roswell Kid into some of my
Yeah.
parts.
I
but-
love Roswell K.
Maybe like Joyce Manor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. I think I tweeted about it. This record to me is not a pop punk record, like
Yeah.
at all. Like when I think pop punk that I grew up on, I think like like neon pop punk, like Mayday Parade and All Time Low and that sort of thing. And then like today, pop punk is more so like Neck Deep, like Knuckle Puck, like that sort of thing. And I don't think we sound like that at all. So it's funny when people are like, "Oh, how you wrote a pop punk record," and I feel like it's more like alt rock, I guess. Especially the rest of the songs. Like maybe Sick is the New Sane and A Cure for Wellness were kind of closer to cult classic, I think, than what people will hear when they hear the rest of it. It gets a lot more indie, I think, than pop. I don't know. I'm looking at you because you're better with like genre words like that.
Jazz.
I guess if like, when I see headlines that are like, Happy's new pop punk, whatever, I'm like, if people are expecting to hear a neck deep like sounding song, they're not gonna get that. You know what I mean? So it's weird to try to put like, I don't know, like the genre is microwave. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're closer to that.
Oh, microwave. Microwave. For the answer, I would say microwave. I didn't even think about that. Microwave is.
If you guys haven't
that's what we told Mark we wanted to sound like.
That's true. We were like, listen to Stovall. That's what we want. Like,
so this guy gets a 7 out of 10.
Oh, this one's
7 out of 10.
Okay.
The aftertaste really sticks in your throat a little bit. It's more of like a pasty consistency to it. So like the way it spreads throughout the palate is just like really intense, but it's got a really blossoming flavor to it. Like,
I didn't know we were getting a food review alongside the interview.
I can't remember what they're called. It's not Chopped. It's the other TV show where they do the.
You gotta eat it. You gotta eat it. You gotta eat it.
Yeah, you gotta eat it all.
You gotta eat it. You gotta eat it.
Oh my god.
You gotta eat it.
Bon appetit. That's what I was trying to think of.
Eat it.
No,
come on.
Eat it. You gotta eat it.
Come on.
Or airplane it to Sean. Airplane it.
Oh, yes.
That is so much hot sauce.
You're going to start
Oh my
sweating
God.
out your eyes. Like, that is a polite way to say cry. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, for real. All right.
Yeah, I saw John got a lot over there on his first one, too. He was like, holy shit, I saw that.
I forgot to warn them that it comes out fast.
Yeah, as you should.
Well, now they know.
Yeah, forgot. So what made you guys choose the album name, and then is there any meaning behind the cover art?
Yes.
Whoa.
And that's where we leave
so
it.
Cool. Moving on.
Okay.
Bro, this is good.
Holy shit. I just said a swear word on your podcast.
You're good.
It's okay. You're
good.
fine.
Okay, so there's a story with Imposter Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a list. Oh my god, I feel like I watch Hot Ones and like I get it now.
Yeah, you get it.
Okay. So we had like a list of a bunch of names right now, and none of them were really like exactly. I don't know. I'm having such a hard time breathing. Okay, anyway, fast forward. I'm gonna have to tell the story shorter because I can't talk that much. I was in the car with my fiance, and I was having just like a total breakdown about people not just being nervous about a second release, because you draw in fans on your first release, and they really like your first release, and then or the ones that do, and then it's like, okay, well, what if they hate our second record? Like that's scary, just to be totally honest. And I was totally having like a moment about that. I was like, what if people don't like it? And she said to me, you're experiencing imposter syndrome. And I was like, wait a minute, there's like a word for that? Like that? I was like, because that's kind of what this whole record is about. Like, so, and then it just kind of, I think I texted it to you guys, and John was immediately like, I feel that all the time. Like that really feels like, I can't remember exactly, so I don't want to use your words, but we felt like it was a good representation of kind of the record as a whole. And as far as the album art, I was just looking at photographers like work on the internet for like months and months and months trying to find something, and I came across this guy. His name is Dylan, and that piece of art was from his like portfolio in college. It was just like this little like he did a couple of like surrealist things, and I just felt like it really represented like the idea of feeling like an imposter. It's like a person but they don't have a face. You can just see their hands, and they're kind of like hung up in the closet, which is almost kind of a nod to that line in that Movement song, Outgrown Things. Is that what it's called? Yeah, like hang me in the closet.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just
your outgrown things.
It's kind of weird when you're trying to find album art, because it's like trying to find an image that represents 10 songs is like the hardest thing in the world. And I had hundreds of images saved into my phone, and when I scrolled past that one, I knew immediately that was like what at least I thought it should be, and I'm glad that they dug it too. So yeah. Cool. Sorry, my mouth is on fire.
It's only halfway through the questions too.
Yeah, exactly. So buckle up. Okay, so we got the chance to listen to the album. I just want to say before, it's super good. You guys are amazing. Anyways,
the whole thing?
Hmm?
You've heard the whole thing?
Yeah.
the entire thing.
Oh, wow!
It's so good. Like,
Awesome.
yeah. The last track, Black Picket Fence or Fences. So it's like the cutest song ever, right? But then at the end, it like punches you in the face. What is that the little like guitar shredding and the drums? What is that? Is that leading into like the third album? Is that like making it loop back? What does it mean?
My inspiration behind that was the song Terrible Things by Mayday Parade.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the song, and the whole time it's very reserved, and like right at the moment where you like as a listener you feel the most, there's a silence, and then it kind of comes in, and just like as a listener, for me, when I heard that 10 years ago or whatever, and there's plenty of songs that do that sort of thing, but every time I listen to it, it's kind of like you're already in such a vulnerable emotional state, and then for it to become full band, it almost just like you said, like it punches you. So I'm glad you said that, because that was definitely what we were going for there. But as far as it being the closer to the album, I think that the goal with, and John is really great about Tracklist. We kind of sat down and really put the songs in the order that we thought they should be in. And with that ending the record, you kind of almost forget where the record began. Like Sick as the New Sane is almost the opposite of that. So we were trying to encourage people to maybe listen over, like start the record over. So that's what about what do you think?
Yeah, that the way it ends is like so different from like the beginning couple songs, but also like for me it sounds a lot like Losing Fight by Movements. Kind of the same thing, where it just like goes in and then
Yeah.
I can't talk. My mouth is on fire.
So I'm gonna make you talk some more. I want to ask about the tracklist order. Then how'd that come about? How'd you pick the ordering for the 10 songs?
We actually came up with a separate tracklist order, and it was actually really, really similar when we presented them to each other. And
I think we all three made our own list.
We listened to the songs on the way home from Chicago when we were recording. We listened to them in the orders we thought they should be in. And we thought like a few of the songs sounded better in certain places to like kind of add in certain emotions that were lacking in some of the songs, so that it felt like you didn't get stuck in one like emotional rut, I guess. Like kind of kept it consistent throughout, and I think that's what helped us pick the order.
Yeah, like I think a record, at least for me as a listener, I really enjoy when a record kind of feels like a roller coaster in a way, like there are ups and downs throughout the record, and you don't have like a long period where it feels down or up or vice versa. So I think like, for example, Hooky has like a really slow beginning, and throwing that right after two really fast songs kind of gives you a break. But then Liar Liar's next, which is one of the heaviest songs on the record. So we kind of wanted it to like flow like this, like almost like you're breathing kind of, you breathe in and then you breathe out, and the song should kind of feel that way. I think that the only difference between like your list and our list was Liar Liar and April were switched, and we had it like that for a while. But Liar Liar, I feel like needed to be earlier in the record.
And once we recorded it and like heard the songs like almost finished product, like that definitely became the reality, just because in our heads like it sounded better one way, but then when you hear the finished product, you're like, oh yeah, that one needs to be up there.
Yeah. All right.
So they're not just randomly thrown together. There is like a thought process.
Okay.
It didn't click like shuffle. Yeah,
because like June Gloom is probably like the quickest. I mean, it absolutely is the fastest song on the record. But then John wrote this really beautiful like interlude that's kind of like a hidden track in between June Gloom and the acoustic song. And so it kind of like brings you back down to that place, because it felt really like stark ending like from June Gloom being this really crazy punk song straight into an acoustic song. So like, how can we kind of flow this back down? So that's why John added the cool little
song.
And when you look at the like file masters of our song, that's like separate, and it just like our producer called it John's Soft Touch. So we had to look at that in the files. And like, the guy that mastered our record was like, "Hey, quick question. What do you want me to do with John's Soft Touch?" We're like, sorry, that's an interlude. Like, it's not really a song. Please don't put it in the track like that.
Oh my god. It should have been its own track.
Label emailed us too. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're like, what is
What
John's
is
song?
Did we pay for this?
Yeah, they were like, we paid for 10 songs. What is this 11th song? We were like, no, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
Would have been
Put that
so
in,
much better though if you didn't attach it to a song and then just left it on the track list as John's soft
John's
touch.
soft touch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. For the 10-year like anniversary of the album, you should add that as a bonus
I
track.
don't have the energy to explain that every time. Like,
What is John's song?
what the hell is that? Oh man, that's funny.
So what song took the longest to write off the record? I know it was over the course of 2 years. And then what is your personal favorite off the record?
Cure took the longest to write.
Yeah, Kier changed a couple times.
That's true.
We got to the studio and we completely changed. I mean,
The end of it, yeah.
the end of it, and
Because when you listen to Cure, the very last chorus, the first two choruses are in halftime, and then in the last chorus, it's not halftime. It's like 4 to the floor, like the whole time through. And that was our producer's idea. Actually, we had originally had it to where the last chorus like kind of dropped out and it slowed down. But we had done that with a couple of other songs, and that's what's so great about working with the producer. Because like as a band writing, you kind of make these decisions that you don't realize are somewhat repetitive throughout different songs on an album. And so the producer was like, you kind of already do this in 1 or 2 songs. Like, what if we went like full blast here instead, which is something we hadn't done yet. So that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to watch a song kind of develop from like stage 1 to when you guys hear it. There's a lot of process that goes on behind the scenes.
yeah.
My favorite song is Hooky.
Okay, hell yeah. What's yours?
I don't know. It's between Hooky and Cure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Every time I listen to the record, I have a
Probably-
different favorite.
I'd probably go with Hooky though. I'd say that's my favorite.
I think.
Like live, like that's the thing. Like listening to it's fun, and then playing it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's got to be both. for
Hooky
me.
is fun to
It's a
play.
fun
I'm
song to
excited to
play,
play
yeah.
that one. I don't know. Background noise is one of my favorites on the record, actually. And then, not to be lame, but the acoustic song. It's like
That's fair.
I'm stoked on that song. Shit, I don't know. Liar Liar is so fun to play too. Like just
It's a
like the
fun one.
chorus goes, like the crowd always had. See, that's the thing is we've been like, not I wouldn't say necessarily like secretly, but we've been playing that song for a while just because we wrote it and it wasn't tracked or anything. But when we would play live sets and we would have extra time, that was always the song that we wanted to play. And it actually got to the point where we played it enough in like our local areas that people knew the words to it. Like we would start it and people would sing it. We were like, holy shit, like
Yeah.
we haven't even released this and people are singing it. So we were actually a little worried that when we dropped it as a single, some people wouldn't be as excited because our fans in our like hometown have already heard it. But for the response to kind of be the opposite of that, because there was kind of this like balance between like people who had already heard it that were talking about how excited they were, and then people who hadn't heard it yet were stoked that other people had heard it and already liked it, I guess, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I was really, really, really surprised by the response to Liar Liar. It was really awesome.
Mhm.
So thank you to anybody listening to this for listening to that song.
Dude, Liar Liar slaps so hard. Anyways, you guys mentioned Hooky a lot, and I listened to the song and I was like, wait a second. Hooky kind of, to me, sounds like a matured version of Lucky. Like the people in Lucky kind of grew up, and then it's like, I don't know. It made sense to me when I was thinking about it. Did you write it to kind of sound like that? Did you think about Lucky at all while writing it, or did it just kind of happen?
I mean, no, that definitely wasn't on purpose. I think that it's funny when we wrote Hooky, like Imposter Syndrome as a whole, you know, each song is kind of about an experience about imposter syndrome, and Hooky is one of like the positive things of that. It's like, it's about, you know, when you get home from tour and we've been talking to our girlfriends, fiancés, wives on the phone or FaceTiming for 8 weeks, 6 weeks at a time, and you get home and there's kind of that moment of like, I really just love to like lay in bed all day long with you, like just, and do absolutely nothing else. And the song, like musically took a while to write, but the lyrics were pretty quick because it was just kind of like, what does that feel like? The day home, like first day home from tour, back in bed with your loved one, you know? And I think that, so it's interesting for you to draw out that parallel. That's really cool, but no, it wasn't on purpose, but that's cool.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
So were there any songs cut from this record? And if there were, will we be seeing them on any future releases?
I don't think we have a single song
Yeah.
written that's
We're
not
starting from
out.
scratch right
Yeah,
now.
we
Today
got-
was
Okay.
our
Oh,
maybe second attempt at writing LP3 songs.
Yeah, I mean, when we in between Cult Classic and Imposter Syndrome, I mean, I think that at least I know, like in my Dropbox folder, I have like 50 demos written, but I think that we're just kind of in a place now where all of those songs feel old to us, and we just want to, like, we have more experience now. I think we're better songwriters, we're better musicians than we were when a lot of our like older songs were written. So even though we've got stuff in the bank, I don't think that that's kind of the music that we're trying to release right now, or that we want to in the future. I think that we could write much better stuff than that, I guess, hopefully. Like, so yeah, I think that we've just grown as musicians. So when we listen back to that stuff, it feels like Cult Classic era type music. And I think that we could do better. We can do better than that.
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
that's valid. That's valid. Would you ever like release those demos? Just like do nothing to them. Just like kind of put them in a Dropbox and like throw the link out there. Like, yo, go crazy.
If we got like 400,000 retweets.
I was about to say, yeah. Fucking 20,000 retweets and we'll do it. Like, no,
Bro,
but
bet.
honestly, to be totally honest with you, my voice was so bad then. Like, I have gotten to be a better singer over the last 3 years of my life, thank God. So I feel like I would be too embarrassed to release that stuff.
Aw.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
If
Okay.
we're famous, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna pull an Austin Knight
Cool
here.
that people won't care that the demos sound like shit.
Yeah,
Then yes.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, like, there becomes a certain level of fame for bands where they could literally just, like, you know,
Here's
I don't
this.
know, burp into a track and people are like, yes! Like,
Oh
so
my god.
when we reach that level, we will give you all of our terrible demos.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Okay. I'm now determined to try and get you guys to that level now. So
No, we,
bad.
they'll never see the light of day.
okay. So is there a certain feeling you guys want your listeners to have while going through the album?
Silent crickets. Like,
Yeah, everybody wants silence.
gosh, I don't know. I think that there is, I mean, not to be like lame, but I think there's something really like beautiful about each person having a different feeling when they listen to music. Like, I think I want to encourage people to have their own journey with these songs.
Yeah.
Like, of course, each song has a meaning that we intended, but I think it's really, just like you know, relating Lucky to Hooky, that wasn't intentional, but it's really cool that, you know, that you created that for them to be together. So I think that it's, I don't know, it's cool when fans and listeners create their own emotions and worlds in a song. And I don't know, it's kind of like, you know, when you're in school and you read a poem and it's really cool, and then you do a Socratic seminar and you tear it apart and it doesn't have that feeling anymore. I would like our listeners to have their own, like talking in circles, you know what I mean? Like,
There's songs that are good for when you're studying or something. There's songs that are good for when you want to go out in the woods and punch the air. There's songs that are good for when you're going on a nice walk or something. It's songs for different vibes.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
why we did an acoustic song this time.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this question should be like super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this new record in 3 words.
We all
You
get
can't
one
think
word,
about it.
We all get 3 words.
All 3 words.
Yeah, you all get 3 words.
Um,
Oh,
we all get 3, or we each get 1.
we
All 3.
You all 3. Yeah.
I can't think of 1. I'm gonna get 3. All right. I'm gonna eat some more hot sauce while I do this. Maybe that'll get my brain moving. I'm gonna say raw for my first word.
Mhm.
It's
So it doesn't have to be a sentence with 3 words. It can just be 3
No, just 3
words.
words.
I was
Yeah.
like, trying to make a sentence like
you have to write a haiku. Go.
Go.
575, go.
Okay. I'm gonna say vulnerable. Also, that's gonna be my word. I think the lyrics are more vulnerable than Cult Classic in a big way.
I'm gonna say groovy as my first word.
Okay. We got a lot of that. Like,
Yeah.
you can surf to every single one of our songs.
Yes.
Yes.
That's fact.
Surf.
Certified.
Man, okay. Did you paint that on the wall behind you of Cult Classic?
Yes. Yeah.
John, did you paint that on the wall?
Oh my John, you're so talented.
I just want to
She's
say
got
that's
that imposter syndrome back there, back
Oh
there
yeah,
too.
I do. I have right there.
Yeah.
It's imposter
Oh my God! Wow,
That's it.
I haven't seen that. Will
Listen.
you send us a picture of that after this? Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it up close. Holy
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then just as like a low key thing, she had the cult classic one next to her for the first interview, hoping
Oh.
that you guys would say something about it.
Oh, really?
So I'm glad you guys finally said something about it.
Yeah, that was
Because every
cool.
single time she's like, "You think they're gonna notice it?"
You think they're gonna say something now? No. Yeah.
They're just
Cool.
trying to take away from the question now.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought like
Yeah.
our Wi-Fi was just so bad the first time you guys were like this lovely pixelated mess. So I don't like,
You're an
even
android.
if you could have had it like as your screensaver, we probably would have been. Like,
Oh my god.
you guys need 2 more words. I only need
I'm
one.
gonna say growth.
Growth. Okay.
I'm going to say surfy.
Surfy.
You're making words up.
Yeah.
I like it.
Surfy, emo, fun.
Surfy emo fun.
I was gonna say like gritty in a way. Like I feel like I don't know. There are parts like for I don't know. A lot of people probably won't even notice little tiny things like this. But when you listen to a record, like sometimes when you're sliding your fingers on the strings or whatever, like in between notes, a producer can clip that out. They can erase that, so it just sounds almost like perfect. Like the guitar is being played by an invisible person. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
we didn't cut any of that out. Like you can hear the slides and stuff and. A lot of records don't have that, so it's like little tiny things like that.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
add
it's-
like a gritty element.
Yeah, it's
to
not
it.
an overproduced album.
Yeah,
Yeah. At
there's
all.
not a lot of auto tune. There's not a lot of.
That's
it's
what
like,
we wanted.
Yeah,
Like we went in, we didn't want to sound, like freaking Justin Bieber.
Yeah, like when you see us live, it's gonna sound like the record that you're hearing in your car.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that that's important to us at least that we can, create the same thing live that we created in the studio.
Mhm.
Okay.
Until we go dream pop and with LP3. So.
Yeah. Until
Okay.
Yo.
She said no.
Well, unless you wanted to, I bet you could do it, but alright. So since live shows can't be played right now, are you guys planning on doing like a live stream or like here's some like walking around the studio doing stuff with us?
I think that we have been thinking of more unique ways to do something live that would be virtual but a little different than necessarily like a live stream maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know how to like articulate it at this moment, but yes, we're going to do some sort of way that people can hear this album in a live setting, but I don't think it'll be your standard like in a venue sort of live type thing. We'll probably do something weird, I guess. Yeah.
Then maybe next year we'll play a show.
Yeah. I would
Maybe
love
next
that.
year.
Yeah. We'll probably be like touring in Australia before we can even
Yeah.
play here.
No.
That's like the rest of the world's gonna figure their shit out, and we're still
Yeah.
gonna be like,
They've already done that.
yeah.
Australia's actually like wrapped up already. They're
I know,
good.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a band on our label called Waxflower, and they've been able to play a couple of live shows. They're from Australia, and like it's been totally safe and fine. And I'm like, man,
Jealous.
must be
Couldn't be
nuts.
us.
I would play a show in a horse stall right now. Like I would do it anywhere. Like literally.
Oh my god. Album release show?
Yeah.
In a horse
Yeah,
stall?
horse stall.
We're just gonna play
Iconic.
a porta-john. Like
You guys can socially distance.
We're gonna be
Exactly. Oh my
live.
God.
It's gonna be great.
I can promise you right now, I'll never complain about the like cleanliness of another venue ever again in my life. Like, oh man.
Keeping on the live music, top 3 songs you're looking forward to playing off this record.
Hooky, Cure, and
Liar.
Liar.
Bingo! Ding, ding, ding.
Ding ding
I'm
ding.
really excited to play background noise too live.
Yeah.
I also, and this is probably something that we won't do until we headline again. Like right now, we're kind of in a place where we'd still like to be like supporting bigger bands and stuff. But if we ever got to do like a full hour-long full shebang, I would be excited to play the acoustic song, just because I feel like it'd be really sick for you guys to like come in for the end of it.
You could probably still do that. You could just pick up the acoustic and add a really interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm always down. I just feel weird being like, all right, here's the one-man show for 3 minutes. Like, it's not like if you guys are cool with it. Like,
I could play like the piano and violin stuff, like with little soft.
oh yeah, that'd be
things,
cool.
and
Oh my gosh.
Sean could like
Sean's like, I'm gonna go to the
No.
bathroom.
Triangle?
Yeah.
Oh, those are the drums. Sorry.
You could go back.
Sean's like, I'm gonna go grab a Powerade. I'm gonna go pee real fast. Y'all let me know when the song's over. Like,
I'll crowd surf.
crowd surf during the
Oh my
acoustic.
God.
Yeah.
Just like. Oh man.
Wonderful. All right. So we like to end interviews off with this question. Do you have any new projects in the works? You said you're writing already, LP3, even though this isn't even out yet. What can you tell us about LP3
Or anything else you're working on?
or anything else you're working on?
Yeah. When will this come out? Can I ask that? This interview?
Like right around the time of your album release, so
Yeah.
within the next month or so.
Can we say we're doing a co-write? Can we talk about that? Is that a secret? You're saying no?
Let's
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
We're writing music, and then there are cool things in the work that we're not allowed to talk about yet. So,
Okay.
Okay.
so we
Can't
said
get in
that to
trouble.
you last time, and now we were able to talk about the stuff we couldn't tell you the last time. So next
Mhm.
time we'll be able to talk about what you just asked us this time.
Well-
We had an idea of doing like an acoustic EP
That's true. We may do that.
sometime early next year, but
Oh wait,
no,
with
that's
the
we just do it out there.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean, the
confirmed.
cool thing about like kind of where we're at right now is that we're lucky that we live close to each other and we have all the equipment we need to record stuff ourselves. And we're still in a pandemic and we can't really go anywhere. So, I mean, our plan for the next several months is write new songs. And that might be acoustic stuff. It might be some singles. It might be an EP. Not sure yet, but we definitely are inspired and have the time to do it. So I think
Alright.
that's our plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Wait.
funny.
oh
No,
no,
you go,
ahead.
and then I'll go.
Okay, so you mentioned an acoustic EP. You said you're thinking about it. If you were to do it, would it be like acoustic versions of songs you already have out, or just brand new songs?
Maybe. I have no idea.
It's just an idea.
Okay.
We talked about doing a mix of both.
Both, yeah. We talked about
Ooh.
like 2 old ones, 2 new ones, or something. We don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Ideally for me, it would be one off Cult Classic, one off Imposter Syndrome, and 2 new ones.
ones.
Yeah, I'd like
Uh-huh.
to.
Oh.
We're gonna do acoustic cover of Black Picket.
Yeah, here's our acoustic version of like,
Oh my God.
version of like the events. And,
And then I think it's funny that when we spoke last time, you guys were gearing up for the release of "Sick Is the New Sane," but we all knew it was going to be that, and then you guys
Yeah.
wouldn't name drop it during the interview at all. Like we
I
tried
was so
asking about the music
confused.
video, we all knew what it was, and you were like, "We
Yeah.
can't actually say the name."
I am just terrified of waking up from an email from our label or manager being like, "Why did you do that?" And then I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry." Yeah. So,
All right.
If it was up to
Okay.
me, I would tell you guys everything, but then I'm gonna get in trouble. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
can't have
yeah.
that.
But we don't name
Makes sense.
songs, so we're in the studio.
Right.
Yeah. We're working on things. Well, as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh gosh, we've got a new single dropping before the album comes out.
Oh.
Well, I guess this will be. We can say it'll be Background Noise. Background Noise is the next single, and we're gonna also do a video for it, but we can't tell you about that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
At least
But,
you're telling us that it's for background noise and not just a music video.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess just thank you to all of our fans and friends and family that are continuing to listen to our music during this weird time. It's weird for us as a band, and it's super weird for you guys as fans. And so, we're just endlessly grateful for the continued support through this hard time. So thank you for that.
All right, wholesome way to end it off. Well, thank you
Wholesome.
for sitting down with us, guys. This has been Happy, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.